So right now waiting for viewers. Uh, so small technical difficulty. I will explain the technical difficulty once we start the live. So wherever comedy. Just give us a minute. Wait, we're still waiting for our guests, guys. Very sorry about this. Hey.
Hey. Yeah, Adi.
Hi.
Hi.
So
How are you?
I'm echoing a little bit.
I'm going a little bit. How are you? Can you hear me now? Is this better?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still echoing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not just go off? You can add me again and we'll
Yeah.
try.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Sorry, guys. We're having some technical difficulties.
Is this better?
I think so.
I think so. Is it?
Nope.
No. No, it's not better?
No, I think
No, I
it's
think it's
some
having some
echo.
echo.
It's
Okay.
just me.
It's just me
Here.
or can you guys hear?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Do you guys
with
hear it too?
Mm,
Mm,
we're waiting for the
we're
reply.
waiting for the reply.
My God, Mark
My
Zuckerberg.
God, Mark Zuckerberg.
Can you
Can
hear
you hear it?
I
mean, your voice sounds crystal clear, so.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
But Puresh saying
But
that.
Puresh saying that. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go offline. I'll get a pair of earphones and get back. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Okay. So in that time, once she comes back, I should add Puresh.
Oh my God, I'm on my
Welcome
iPad.
back.
Wait.
It's okay.
Okay.
That was a brilliant performance, no, by Krish.
Dude.
Like,
Telling
you know,
you
while
he's on another level, dude.
No, while he was performing, I don't know why. I don't even know why. I can't explain it. All I could think of was, you know that old times when you were listening to the radio in the car, they used to say, "Ungal kalakal paatu, top 100 kalakal paatu." Honestly, that's all I could hear. Like, you're presenting, and then he's waiting. Ungal kalakal, top 100 kalakal paatugal, and then billboards, everything. That's all I could think of. But honestly, that song.
I'm just living my dream of being an RJ, da. That's all, okay?
That song definitely needs more recognition.
Yeah.
Such an underappreciated song. Even 3,000 views is definitely not enough for that song. Such a good vocal, no?
Yeah, I think, yeah, dude. And I don't know. His best part, again, his vocals is amazing. And
But
I don't know.
And I completely empathize with him. I cannot do math. I mean, you know this. Like, math and I are like on complete opposite ends of a pole. And our guest is back. So
okay. So we will archive this very small conversation. Note down the timing. We'll fully cut this, okay? Okay. Bye. Presenting to you, Rheyea.
So we're adding her.
Hi.
So none of that happened.
Did I interrupt something?
No. None of that happened.
Is this better? Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Crystal.
Okay, that's good.
Never better. So
how are you, Adi?
oh, as good as lockdown can let me be.
Mm-hmm.
How are you? How good are you?
I've been good. I've been enjoying myself this lockdown. I've been keeping myself busy, so yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
what with?
So I model, as you know.
Uh-huh.
I also bake. I have a baking company, so I've been really busy with that.
So
Yeah.
how's modeling going during lockdown?
Honestly, it's slow. There's actually not much happening. So we have a bunch of FaceTime shoots, but that's about it. And so it's pretty slow, but it's good. It's good. It's the break I needed. So
Okay.
I'm grateful.
So
Yeah.
the modeling is why we're here.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's definitely a world that we all need to like understand, right? Because it's a world that we are exposed to every single second of our lives, but we know nothing about. Like
That's right.
everything we see, we have a model.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere we look, we have a model. But it's a
That's
world
true.
we don't even like second thing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why we brought you on to understand that world. So obviously the first question we want to ask is, what is something that you know from the industry that I am not personally aware of?
Okay, so the industry, I think, as you know, is it's not a very nice place.
Oof.
It's honestly not a
Okay.
very nice place. Um, yeah, because it looks all glamorous and fancy on the outside, but
Hmm.
there's so many layers on the inside, and it's a very complicated industry. And I think for a person that's new to this industry, it's it's hard. It's hard to, I don't know, get in. If you're into modeling, it's just, yeah, getting in is hard. Staying in hard, because honestly, there's so many people out there that are looking to find a job in the modeling industry, and
I think they're having some technical difficulties.
hi.
Hi.
I'm so sorry.
Uh,
I don't know what happened.
it's okay. Go on.
What part did you miss?
I think some difficulties with the modeling industry.
Yeah, yeah. So I basically got into the modeling because since I was young, I had a lot of self-image issues,
Hmm.
and I was not happy with my body. I had very low self-esteem. I had major anxiety,
Wow. Okay.
and for me, I began modeling when I realized that my anxiety was getting the better of me. I was
Hmm.
losing a lot of opportunities because I was not confident about myself. I had terrible self-image issues. And that's when I realized that, you know what, I'm gonna get into a field where I need to put myself out there to like thousands of people to see. And to be able to do that requires a lot of self-confidence. You need to love yourself so much,
Yeah.
because people are waiting to critique. And yeah, so that's one thing I really liked about modeling, and that's why I actually even got in. So yeah.
So what is so there's this mentality with like uh, so I used to be a photographer before I came into film.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So there's definitely this mentality of like when in Rome, do as Rome does
Say must
mentality.
do, yeah.
Yeah, in fashion photography and photography in general, like when you ask people how do you get up, they'll just look around, look at what people are doing, and do that,
Right.
and then you can get where they are. So,
Mm-hmm.
is there a point where you had to do that, like beyond your sorry about that,
Bless you.
beyond your comfort? Is there a point where you had to do that?
So honestly, in the beginning, when I started off, I had no connections, right? So I was like a nobody. And when I began, I had to basically do things that other models do.
Hmm.
And that required me, and because I was so conscious and I had so much anxiety, it was getting out of my comfort zone. And so in the beginning, I didn't know anything about the industry. I was just lost. I was there. So I was pushed into a bunch of things that I was not comfortable doing, right? People take advantage of you when they know that you're vulnerable and you
Hmm.
don't know too much about the industry. So yes, that happened. And so I learned from that. That was like a little stepping stone that told me that I needed to stand my ground. I couldn't get pushed around, because this is honestly, it's not a very good industry to be in, sorry to say, but it is the truth. So that's something that happened
Do
a
you
bunch
see
of
that?
times in the beginning.
Do you see that changing? Like, what is something that could change this environment for modeling?
So honestly, it's this attitude is people based, right?
Mm.
So you can't change it until you change mindsets of people that you're dealing with, which is very hard because that is ingrained over time. That comes out of self-realization and the need to be a good person. So
Huh.
it's very hard. But as models, what I can do or what we can do is stand our ground, you know, speak up for what we believe in. If you're not comfortable with something, talk about it. Say that, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm sorry. You might lose that job. You might lose that contract. Might not be able to work with your favorite designer. But at the end of the day, I think what matters is that you're happy, your mental well-being. So, and it's very important to stand your ground.
So, how do you get into modeling? Like, it's such an alien concept. How do you get into modeling, and like, how do you get
Okay.
your agents and your photographer, designer contracts?
So to be honest, I started in 17. End of 17, I started, okay. And like I said, I had no contacts, no connections. My parents didn't know anybody in the industry. So, and they were not very supportive also. When I spoke to them about the idea of modeling, they were just like, no, people are going to misuse you, bless you.
Forget that. Okay, go ahead.
So they were like, people are going to use you, they're going to exploit your talents, this, that, and they kind of scared me. So they were not supportive. So what I had to do is I had to do something on my own. So I had a bunch of friends who were in Wiscom in college. And so they needed models for their assignments, the college assignments, and they asked me. It was obviously not paid, it was just a collaboration. I was just helping people out. And so I got into one of these things, one of these shoots with one of my friends, and that's where it began. We just shot for his project, and I think one thing led to another. Once I started putting up pictures of that first shoot, people started asking, do you model? And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to. So then they just refer, and you just start. And in the beginning, it was very hard because you don't have a portfolio, you don't have experience, so no one's going to pay you. So I just did the first, I think, 5 to 10 shoots that I did in the beginning were just for experience, just to build my portfolio and just to get some exposure about how things worked. And that honestly was so much help. So that's how I began. And then things took off from there. So when you start building your portfolio, you network, build connections, you get to know more people, and then people start giving you value. So that's how it worked.
So definitely, once you get over that certain barrier, it gets easier. Like, just like everything gets easier. Like
It
your
is. Because you
independence.
understand things better, you know more people in the industry, you have connections, so it's definitely a lot easier. You understand how to deal with people because it's a difficult industry. People expect you to be a certain way, so you learn the tricks of the trade, you learn how to, survive. So
So,
yeah.
so what is your aspiration? What is your unrealistic goal? As we've asked everybody else on the podcast.
So my unrealistic goal is actually a realistic goal. I actually see it happen. So I've wanted since a very very long time. I've wanted to win a pageant. Like I'm talking big. I'm talking Miss India, Miss Universe types. So that's been a goal, and a lot of people don't understand the reason. The reason I actually want to do something like this is to reach out because a platform like Miss India or Miss Universe is huge, and the number of young women, young girls, right from the age of 8 and 9, that look up to models that are that win these titles is insane, and they look up to these people as role models, and that is such a huge responsibility. So for me, I see myself somewhere there because I want to reach out to that many young girls, young women, empower them, tell them that your goals aren't too unrealistic. Whatever you want, you can do. Teach them and, help hopefully eradicate some of these social injustices that happen. So for me, that is like an ultimate goal in this field. So yeah.
I mean, I completely agree. Like, I can't really, like, I can't put it better than that.
Adi, I'm just going to interrupt. Miss India Universe just joined.
Oh wow, yeah, we found Miss.
Adeline Castellino is here.
Oh wow, yeah, I just got the notification. Hi. So,
Hi,
oh,
Adeline. Thank you for tuning in. So nice to see you here.
so
So yeah.
what I was trying to say is, definitely when Manushi won the awards, right? That really pushed this narrative of, this mentality that you either have beauty or you have brains, and then and then she won, and then everybody who had that mentality was in question, in doubt if they even had what they thought is right. They didn't had to have like a hurtful awakening. It was just like they could have a self-realization that what they thought is wrong.
Right, that's true. Manushi Chiller, right?
Yeah, Manushi Chiller, exactly.
Yeah.
She's a really smart woman and who is really beautiful. And she broke down so many barriers for people. Aishwarya Rai broke down so many barriers for women.
Right.
Like, she's such a talented actress and a model and a dancer. So definitely that is a brilliant platform, right? Pageants, like, no matter what we say, it's still a brilliant platform.
A huge misconception is people think it's just about beauty. It actually isn't that way. I think these competitions, they test you all around. Like they test your athletic abilities, they test how how you answer in tough situations, they test your general knowledge, and there's so much. And a lot of it is how much you're willing to do with the platform and the responsibility that you're given. And I think that's the main criteria, how they choose these winners of these pageants, and I think that's beautiful. I think that's what we need. So yeah, we need more people on big platforms that talk about things that actually matter, because that's not what happens these days. We need more people with followings, with people that listen to them to talk about things that matter.
We are working on the followers part. But we are hoping to have the rest, but we're working on the followers part here.
Right.
That's the whole concept of Kadai Benchu.
So it's lovely what you guys are doing as well. So
no. Thank you. But what is one struggle that you feel like you had that is a very personal struggle to you in this industry?
So for me personally, it's about getting over my body image issues and my anxiety. Because that's I struggled with it so badly. Because I remember there were times when I was in school where I just couldn't talk to a group of people. If there were any more than 2 people, I'd get nervous, I'd get anxious. I couldn't have my picture taken because I couldn't bear the fact that somebody's looking at me and taking a picture of me. So I think for me, conquering, I'm still working on it, honestly. I haven't been able to sort that out completely, but I'm working on it, and that transformation for me from a person like that to becoming a model has been insane. So that's something I've dealt with. And yeah.
So, what would you tell a young girl or a young guy who's trying to get into modeling today?
Okay, so honestly, like Krish said earlier, do not forget where you come from. Do not forget your roots. That's very important. Stay grounded, because this is the kind of industry which will lift you up quickly and then just drop you. And it's very important that you stay grounded, because like I said, there's so many models that come into the industry every single day, right? And if you don't suit the certain requirements, you just replaced very easily, and that can be very heartbreaking sometimes. So you need to stay grounded, you need to stay true to your values. Otherwise, there's this little syndrome where models, they suddenly have this quick escalation to fame, and then they suddenly just drop, and then they get into depression and drugs and all of that. So that. And then thirdly, like I said, stand up for what you believe in. Do not let people push you around. Do not let people tell you to do something that you're not comfortable with doing. I think that's very important, because as a young female model, I think in the beginning, because there's so much desperation, you're willing to do absolutely anything to get the job. And that's where I think we're all wrong. I think we need to stand up for what we believe in, because when you do that, people around you respect you more, right? And at the end of the day, that's what matters, how much people respect you, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like, in the end, the only person who can judge us properly is ourselves. And as long as we can respect ourselves, we can't really give ourselves anything to judge upon. So you can't be judged wrongly if you have nothing to judge upon, right? And on that note, as like artists or like anyone in the entertainment industry, there is a certain time where until you reach, people don't consider what you want to do as a real job. Like, I'm still finding it quite hard to explain to my grandmother I want to be a filmmaker, and then she's like, "Oh, okay, what do you want to be when you grow up?" Like, no, it's still filmmaker.
Right.
And then so many people have asked me like, "Oh, when will you get out of this?
Right.
Like, at what age will you grow out of this?" So how does society view you as a model?
Honestly, like you said, until you reach that certain level where you're getting that certain level of fame and popularity and even financial independence, people don't take you seriously. And that's how it is right now for me as well, because my mom's like, listen, you're doing this, fine, that's great, you're doing it as a hobby, but when are you going to find a job? And that sucks. So I think to people like us, that artists that haven't got to that point where people take us seriously, I'd say that honestly, as long as you believe in yourself, you have that goal, you know where you're going, and no matter how slowly you're headed there, as long as you're moving forward, I think you're good, you're doing well. And what will also help is having a side hustle to help you back up your dreams, which is why I started baking, right? That is my little side hustle to earn money so I can support myself. So my mom, so when I'm doing like my modeling, and so like now in a time like this where the lockdown is and we have corona and I'm not getting too many projects, I still have a steady source of income that's coming in that can just back me. So when I want to do something that I love, I don't have to depend on anybody too much for it. So that's the advice.
So now that you're into modeling, and this is going to be like me, for me, how filmmaking, for you modeling. How much of creativity do you have in your medium? Like how much of your personal creativity do you have, or do you want to have, or you not really care about it?
So when it comes to modeling, you have you have a lot of types, and but then mainly you have a very aesthetic, creative side where you do abstract shoots.
Yeah.
That doesn't get you paid at all. Honestly, it doesn't. That's just for yourself. It's for your soul, for your heart, for your happiness. And the other side, you have the more glamorous kind of shoots where you do it for brands and you do shows and stuff. So that's what gets you paid. So I honestly think that there needs to be a balance of both. You need to do the stuff that gets you paid because that's important as well. And you need to do the stuff that helps you grow, helps your soul grow, makes your soul happy. So, and when it comes to modeling, there's so much creativity involved. There's so many different, I can't emphasize on how many different types of, models there are that exist, different things they model for, the different concepts. And right now,
She has left TKB again.
hi.
Welcome
Okay.
back. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I'm so sorry. I don't know why that happened.
Huh. No, it's okay. So, you're talking about the aesthetics and the fashion, the differences between the both. So,
Right. So, yeah. So, like I said, I think it depends on the person, and one helps your soul grow, one gets you paid. I think you should do a little bit of both. So, yeah.
so which side would you prefer to do? Like, as we asked,
So,
like a lot of other artists, like, is this the art that you want to do, or is this the art that you have to do? Like,
so honestly, being extremely realistic, I think till you can base yourself, you need to do the stuff that's getting you paid. Because once you have that financial freedom, independence, and liberty, you can move on and do whatever else you want to. Right? So I think I'm very practical, so I think that's the way I'd go about it. So I'd probably, if I had to do a percentage, I'd do 70% stuff, glamorous stuff that would pay me, 30% stuff that makes me happy. Of course, the stuff that gets me paid obviously makes me happy as well, but yeah, you know what I mean. So I always believe that you need to have a backing so you can follow your dreams.
yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. So,
So
so
yeah.
you prefer doing the aesthetics and the abstract, the art form of
Yeah,
art
it's
side.
beautiful because the other kind that gets you paid is very commercial. You have a very straight set of requirements. People expect you to do a certain way. There's not too much freedom. There's no creative freedom. You can't do the things that you like to do in terms of posing or dressing up or your makeup. So it's very straightforward. You have a person that's going to take care of your makeup. You're going to have a person that's going to take care of your hair, who's going to decide exactly what you're going to wear, how you're going to look, what you're going to represent. So it's a lot of rules, a lot of restrictions. So I don't think anybody would like to do that very long term. So yeah.
Like when I used to do photography, I tried both, and I completely
Yeah.
agree. Like, I hated the commercial aspect of photography and everything I did. I
Same.
I did like food photography for restaurants, and
Okay.
then for the setting of restaurants, and then fashion photography, with like clothing. It honestly, I don't want to be rude to people who have this as a job, but it is not my cup of tea, right? Like it's so boring. Like it's like you already know what to do, and then you're just like you're literally what people think a photographer is, the presser of a button.
Right.
You get reduced to press of a button, and the model. You feel like the model is reduced to this the mannequin wearing the clothes, and
Yeah.
so I
Like
think
your personality doesn't come through. There's no
yeah,
individuality. You just do what you're told to do, which is a terrible
exactly.
place to be, honestly. Yeah.
That's why I always prefer doing the art side, and that's why I switched from photography to film.
That's beautiful.
Like in film, no matter what you do, there's this always this unconventional, this welcoming room to unconventionality.
Right.
So so do you see that with like modeling as like okay, today there's more companies which I think are getting into like more artsy ways of showcasing their product.
Yeah.
Do you
I
think that
mean,
will come to modeling?
I think it will. I mean, times are changing for the better. So,
Yeah,
I yeah. So, I know a lot of people that do these artsy aesthetic shoots, but they don't really get paid. Like no one wants to hire them. So that's a scene right now because a lot of my friends are extremely talented, and they take beautiful pictures, and but nobody really wants to hire them because giving somebody that creative freedom is honestly scary. I'm thinking as a client. Like if I was a client and I had a brand that I had a particular, I want to represent my brand a particular way. Giving that creative freedom to somebody, I'm not sure how I'd feel about it. Honestly, I wouldn't. So I'm being very realistic here.
true enough. I mean, fair enough, fair enough.
So
I want my
I mean, it's
product
it's the
showcased.
coin has two sides
Yeah,
exactly. So I think we need to find a little balance between the two that can help both the artist and the client. So I think that's where we'll find our perfect scene. So yeah,
yeah. I think like soon, I think designers will start making more abstract things, like more
exactly.
artsy things.
Right.
Models will want to do what they want to do, and the photographers will start taking pictures of what they want to take.
I'm sorry.
Right? Like photographers will start taking pictures of what they want to take, and everybody will
Right.
be doing
Right.
what they
Right.
want to do. Like I think that is the future of art.
Right.
Hopefully, who knows?
Hopefully, yes. Uh-huh.
So, what is like how do I put this? Is there a transition from this industry to another that you're looking at, or is modeling your through and through?
Um, okay, so so I'm not looking forward to it, but a lot of people use modeling as a little stepping stool to get into acting, to get into
Yeah,
films. So that's how it works. But I haven't been really fascinated by, the film industry too much. So I'm more of the kind of person that would just finish my work and just get away. So, um, and I honestly prefer walking the runway, in comparison to just modeling. So
mm.
that's my thing. So I always want to be a runway model. So yeah, so that's that for me. And like I said, I majorly want to use this platform as a model to reach out to people to talk about stuff that matters. That's my actual end goal. And no matter how far I get, whether I get to that Miss Universe platform or whether I'm still sitting at home and doing my small time shoots, I will still continue doing the same thing and reaching out to who is there to listen to me, because to me that's all that matters.
Like I always think about this. Like if you reach Miss Universe, there'll be 15 million people listening to you,
Exactly.
and
Right.
now there's what 15 people listening to you. But like now you have the opportunity to change 15 lives. Might as well take
Right.
this
Right.
opportunity. And then
I
when you
mean,
get
it's just
15,
as important.
yeah,
15 or 15 million, as long as you're changing a life, I think that's all
yeah,
matters.
exactly. One life is
Yeah, I
more than
mean,
nothing.
yeah, so whether I do it or somebody else does it, I want it to happen. That's all. So it needs to happen because, like I said, this platform, the whole modeling industry, is actually a very powerful, influencing industry. And only if people used it for the right things, I think the world would change for the better. And yeah, a lot sooner. So
So,
yeah.
so we keep rushing on this. What are the important things that you want to talk about?
So I have three issues that are very close to my heart that I've always spoken out about. So one is animal-related issues.
Hmm.
I'm an animal enthusiast, and anything related to an animal has always caught my fancy. So that, then environmental issues. I've always wanted to make an impact to the environment in a good way. And third, women-centric issues. It's always been very close to my heart because as I've grown up, I've faced so many things myself. So it's only right if I can go out and help other women out there. So these are my three causes. These have always been my three causes, and these are the things that I would, speak about or bring to light if I still do, but if I did get a bigger platform, I would do it to a larger audience. So these are my things. So.
I mean, yeah, 100%. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many other issues. There's so many things that people talk about, but I believe that you need to focus on the causes which are closest to your heart, because that's when you truly act on them, right? Incessantly, like you give to your cause that's close to your heart, and I think that's the only way you should give, with all of your heart.
for me, in all the three things you said, uh, environment is very, 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 very dear to me. From a very
Yeah,
young age, I've always
that's
been
good. That's
very
amazing.
drawn to the like nature. I always spent a lot of time in forests. I was going to be a zoologist, but look at where we are now.
That's beautiful. Why didn't you?
I just thought if I start making movies about the environment, I could reach more people.
Right.
Instead
Yeah,
of
that's true.
if I could save one animal or one species or one forest, I could inspire people to do the same, and I could have a bigger
Right.
reach there. And that's how I landed up here. And that's
That's
the same
beautiful,
with
Adi.
my
That's beautiful.
that's the same with my feminism and everything. And everything I want to do is it's just my medium. Film is going to be my medium. That's what I wanted to be. My medium to convey what I wanted to be.
That's
Uh,
lovely.
so on that, like with nature, it's just that I always had this one core belief in nature. Like I always believe that nature is something that we inherit. Like the earth is something we inherit, but
Right.
that's a fallacy. It's something that we borrow from our children, from our
Right.
next generation.
Right.
So
I
we
just
have to
read that
give it
today.
back.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Ah,
Yeah.
you said that today. Guys,
I
it's
read
awesome
that
to me,
today. I
okay?
read it on a post
Oh,
today.
okay,
So
okay. So it's something that we borrow from our children that we have to give back.
children.
Once
Right.
we
That's true.
remember that, I don't think we could harm nature like what we are doing today.
Right. Because in a geological period of time, we're actually here for like a less than a second, because that's how insignificant our little lives are. And to be here for such less time and create so much damage is honestly, what are we even doing? Like, we don't deserve this planet. Because honestly, yeah, we don't. We don't. I truly believe that. Humans are terrible people.
Oh no, I wouldn't go that far. I'm still a very optimistic person. I still have a lot of optimism in me. So
And that's good.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
say we are terrible, but we haven't been guided down the
Adi,
right
but
path.
realistically, tell me,
Ah,
realistically, do you
okay.
really think we've been good citizens of this planet? Have we been doing justice to what's been given to us?
Definitely not. But it's like it's like humanity, as you said, is a very young thing to this planet. And imagine giving a toddler an egg. What do you think the toddler is going to do with the egg? The toddler is going to
But
break
you
the
need to
egg.
respect, you need to respect what's being given to you. And once you
But imagine
learn to
we've been here
respect,
for
yeah.
yeah, we've been here only for 120,000, 200,000 years, and today we are sitting here talking about the environment. We have grown up a significant way.
I mean, but in that short period of time, look at the amount of damage we've caused.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah.
Sadly, very, very true. But at least we're waking up today, and maybe
That's true.
tomorrow we can change.
Yeah.
But all this while we never woke up. But at least today we woke up. So that's where my optimism stems from. That's why I
That's good.
say we are not terrible.
And okay, so my optimism is based on the fact that people like you and I exist that care about stuff like this and are willing to talk to a larger number of people about the same. I think that's where my optimism comes from. Honestly, to see people taking charge, willing to change things for the better, I think that's what makes me happy. That's what makes me look forward to the fact that things can get better.
I mean, on that fact, guys, please volunteer with EFI. They're an NGO that's very dear to my heart. Also, if possible, please donate to Crocodile Bank. Crocodile Bank,
Right.
it's been my childhood. Sadly, they're in a very dark place right now. Please donate to Crocodile Bank. It will be heartbreaking to see Chennai without Crocodile Bank. Please donate to Crocodile Bank. They've done a lot for conservation of reptiles and herpetology. So, is there anything that, like, any NGOs that you work with that you would like to plug in?
So I don't work with any NGOs in particular. So I'm a member at Greenpeace, but I don't really do much from here. but what I do volunteer at Blue Cross. I've always volunteered at Blue Cross. I think since I love to volunteer at Blue Cross. I think I was 13 or 12. So I've always, because my connection to animals runs very deep. I love animals. So that's always been very true to my heart. And I also, for like a short period of time, like I did a small internship with this organization, which worked with people with depression. So that was just a small 6-month gig. So I did that. And yeah, so that's about it. I also did a little stint for Teach for India, where I
that's
think,
nice.
yeah, I did a summer internship where I taught a bunch of kids. So that's about it. Nothing too big. So.
But yeah, on this happy note, is there anything closing comments you would like to say about your industry, about anything that you want?
I think I've covered a lot of stuff. I've covered what advice I'd give to young models, but so I'm just going to say that when you want to get into modeling, you honestly, in a society like ours, you're going to have a lot of resistance. Resistance from the society, resistance from your own family, like I did. And if you know that this is what you need to do, this is what's going to make you happy, I think you go ahead with it. Because I remember when I began, my mom was, I told you, my parents were so against this. And I didn't listen to them. I used to lie to them and go for my shoots. And that's how I built my portfolio in the beginning. And right now, I honestly do not regret it, because that's what has got me to where I am right now. So keep pushing. I think it's very important to have a bigger goal than just being famous or popular. I think when you do have a goal to get famous and popular, you need to use it for the good, influence people, help people, empower people. So that's about
100%.
it.
I think if you ever have a movie made about you, the lying part would be your intermission block.
It's true.
Yeah, as a filmmaker, that's why I clicked in. Like, okay, that will be her intermission block. The lying and going to a shoot, that will be a dramatic scene.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no. Thank you.
It's lovely talking to you.
Are we talking to you too?
Give Purvesh my love as well.
Definitely. Hope to have you soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So we're going to have Purvesh on for a bit. Or wait, how are we going to do this? Hi, welcome back, Purvesh.
Vanakkam. Well, those are some amazing conversations. First of all, welcome back.
Yes.
It's tragic we lost you due to power cut.
Yes. So what happened was, I heard the ring when I was talking. I was like, I know it's going to happen. It's imminent. And then exactly as I thought it's imminent, power cut.
So wait, what happened? Your phone died or it didn't go?
It didn't got cut, but that's a topic for another time. Okay. So how are we doing it now? Now that we've mixed up.
It's okay. First of all, I must say, amazing guests. I didn't get to comment on the conversation with Sarjun, but holy shit, the amount of insight and I don't know, it was just nice to have a real conversation. I have thoughts about how much time do we have before we have our next guest on?
12 minutes. 22.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes, our next guest is also waiting. An interesting musician composition. But so, couple of things I just wanted to say. What Sarjan said. First of all, censorship. I completely agree with him. As a society, we need to change the way we consume. I said this in the censorship episode as well. Society, we need to understand we're living in the information age and know how to wield it, and know it's a very malleable thing, and we shouldn't be so stuck in it. And really, I think, and he said it in such a eloquent way that anyone could understand. Use simple language. I was saying wielding information and all that. Very I think he said it in a way that anybody could understand, and that's really nice. And one last thing he said is, do things that excite you. And like he said, right, I am successful if I keep working, and that's such a nice thing he said, because of late I've been realizing that it's not. Sometimes you say a well-paying job is what I want. Sometimes you just need to realize that you want a job that you don't mind, even if you don't get paid. right? Or you should get paid. Never work for free. But yeah. Uh, but what I'm saying is that's something that's really, really resonated. That really, really, really resonated with me. Yeah, and I hope the censor people of the censorship board don't get to him again, and he makes movies like Lakshmi and Ma. Uh, let's hope. uh, but yeah, on that end, yeah. What was your thoughts of the conversation with Krish and I had?
See, the conversation you had, right? I completely agree. We shouldn't be like, at the end he said, when you come up from your place of discrimination, and then you've broken through that, and you are never going to be recognized as a person of transgender or a person of whatever you are, singing or performing. You are performing, and after that it is your duty to represent where you come from. And we have seen time and time again where people come from discrimination and completely have forgotten this and completely just cut away their ties from where they come from. And I think as he's doing is beautiful, that he's not cutting away the ties as he's going ahead, right? Like even the place he's reached, he's not cutting away the ties from where he's come from. I think that's just beautiful and like a very strong initiative, and I think that is something that we all should draw inspiration from.
Yeah, true. I think on that note, our next guest is waiting. So we will end this live and we'll go live again and we'll have our next guest, okay?
Bye bye.